Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to Education Matters here at Salam Radio 106.2 FM. You're listening to Mehtab, and with me is Shimi, presenting our second episode this week, which is back to, first week of school. Yeah, so welcome to Education Matters. This week episode, we would like to hear. It's all about you guys, you as a parent, as a student, and even as teachers. So do please get in touch on 01733 602 133. That is 01733 602 133. We like to hear how was the first week back in school. You can also text us on 07 411 191062. Okay, and do please find us on all social media as well, where you can leave comments for us and hopefully get you involved into the conversation. And those of you that are listening to this recorded, again, do please leave comments on the video, so hopefully we'll pick those up and discuss them in our next week's show. Right, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Mr. Hussein. Welcome back.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm glad to be back. I made it back to week 2. I was dying a little bit last week with the cough, but a little bit better.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So as I mentioned to our listeners, we are going to be talking about first week of school. So, we like to hear from our listeners how their week was. So we like you to go, get involved, obviously share, but just to let you know the structure of the our show, we are going to be talking about we as teachers, what has changed with the first week now being back to school, what we are doing slightly different to maybe the first day, and how we are adapting our new changes, getting to know our new students, how we get to know their names, all 333 of them, and how we then plan for going ahead. So we are going to be talking about that first. And then we are going to be talking about, we are going to include any announcements that are to make in terms of education within Peterborough. So what's going on around Peterborough. So we just want to make sure our listeners are aware of things happening around our city and are getting involved. Is education, it's the future generation, the future of your kids. So it's important that you guys are getting involved. And the way we do that is being aware of what's happening throughout the week in Peterborough. All right, and then hopefully, we're looking to hear from our listeners. Right, so our first week back, if we can start with you, sir, you're a math specialist.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, yeah. So
yes.
with your first week back now, how you finding it as a teacher in terms of
It was just the whole shebang.
Yes.
At the minute. So I think this week, the phrase I've used the most is what a whirlwind start, 100 miles per hour. There's so much to get to grips with. New classes, new faces, new personalities, new kids in the classroom. So you almost got to start from scratch again. But it's been a massive whirlwind. Everything's literally 100 miles per hour. Admin on top of admin, and then more admin. So many small duties and responsibilities. Trying to sort myself out. And I'm sure other teachers around the department and schools are in the same boat at the minute.
Excellent. Do you think, as obviously you are teaching year on year, this admin and other work that you are doing, is that getting a lot harder? Is there more stress on you than the previous year?
I think workload-wise, the first couple of years are probably the most intense when you're trying to train to be a teacher. However, as the years have gone, with more duties within the department or around the school, you end up having more admin than last year, for example. But you kind of got the strategies and techniques in place now, and there's not as much panic. For example, the week before the summer holidays, there's not as much panic for me now because I know what to expect. So every year it's the same sort of things. There's just a lot of things. That's the only difference.
I think what's important to mention as well is not that it's any of the school's fault, but with the government at the moment, with the things, the situation within the country, how tough it is for everyone. Funding is quite difficult, and in terms of for a school, they will always do their best to provide the best that they can for the students, and also trying to make sure it is the best environment for its teachers, who are providing that education. But I can imagine it's not easy for our business managers and people up in our structure. But it is, it is, I would say, it does get difficult. It does get difficult where there's more pressure for you to perhaps do more admin that someone else may have been in charge of, and to cut cost they may have been let go, and then you have to pick up those. The weather is just chasing up some students for missing detentions, which would have been done centrally, and then you have to sit there, make calls, and various other tasks, which does take up a lot of time. It does take up a lot of time, and I think that is why a lot of people see the teaching job 3 o'clock, 3:15. Yeah, you're done. Unfortunately, it's not that. It's not that.
Behind the scenes is quite hectic and quite chaotic.
It is. I think what is missed as well is this. Even though you are teaching in those hours between 8 to even 4 o'clock, but the rest of the time, I think what people don't see is that we still have to be in our teacher character. So if we are down in co-op, for example, when there's a student...
You said a teacher in co-op?
Well, I'm not saying teaching in co-op, but in terms of how we behave, I would say, because I would like to think in some way, we are a role model, and, in a way that we have to present ourselves in a certain way for our students to look and to respect.
I think students often think that we have to be in our suits and ties in co-op. And when they see us in non-uniform...
They go crazy.
They go a bit crazy.
No, alhamdulillah, it is a nice experience to meet your students out of the school environment. But I still remember the first time when I was a new teacher, and especially the year 7s and 8, when I first saw them in co-op, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's my maths teacher," and they would avoid going down that aisle, and they just like stand next to their parents, and just the thing is as well is my missus, she's a primary school teacher as well, so whenever we're out,
so two of you in the same family. That's so good, is it?
Alhamdulillah. And if it's the kids from primary school, they see her, you can start seeing them ducking away, or it is. You have to make sure, in a way that we have chosen this profession, so we gotta always have the hat on of a teacher, I think, and the way we carry ourselves, the things that we say, and then things that we do, and I think that is important. We are there teaching others, and we need to make sure that our character is always meeting the expectation that we set. And that can be, difficult at times, having to always think about what you're saying, thinking about what you are doing. Right, so I'm sure obviously you got year 7 classes, you got new students.
Yes, quite a lot of them.
Quite
I'd probably say 95% of the kids I've got this year are completely fresh and completely new. That's how much the classes have been mixed up.
Oh, then they check. Okay.
So I've probably kept 5% of kids that I had last year.
Right. Okay.
So quite a lot of changes.
I mean, you must obviously recognise the faces and such, but not
around the school.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But
definitely.
What I like to talk about is, in terms of remembering names and knowing the students.
Of course.
How is it? Would you like to share? What is it that you do to help you remember the names?
I think, especially for the first week or so, that's probably the funniest challenge you've got as a teacher. So, for example, I've got some new year 7s, and believe it or not, but I've just got a post-it note, for example, and I've actually written down the way their name is spelled on a register.
Yeah.
And then in brackets, I've written down how you would pronounce that name after asking them how to pronounce it 10
Yeah,
times.
yeah, yeah.
So I've actually got post-it notes stuck on my screen for every class. So there's 5 or 6 names on there. So
That pronounced differently to how they are
how they're
spelled.
spelled. So that helps. So I'll pin that into my diary, into my planner whenever I've got that lesson. Little post-it note. I've been using that for a week, relying on it. Things that teachers can do in the classroom to help, more sort of professional strategies would be.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, but you say it like that. It's not that is a.
I think everyone does it.
I think that's a
Yeah.
very good strategy,
It's not
and the fact that
textbook.
you're going out your way to write, remember
Try and
the
get it
name.
right, basically.
Yeah, of course, and
I think more textbook. So in terms of more textbook, using registers. So I've made my seating plans based off the alphabetical register.
Yeah,
So boy,
that's
girl,
right.
boy, girl.
Of course, yeah.
And the more times, obviously, I'm doing registers, I'm asking at the minute kids to put their hands up, trying to just familiarize their faces. But yeah, there's so many different strategies. Cold calling.
Yeah,
There's another thing that's schools are starting to adopt.
yeah.
I know a lot of schools have adopted it 2 or 3 years ago, but now nationally, quite a lot of schools are going down the cold calling route, which, if you're not aware of what cold calling is, it's when you almost refuse to accept answers the traditional way where people were putting their hands up. So now we're almost picking kids, and by picking kids, we're saying their names a lot more.
Yeah.
And we're trying to pick kids and mix it up a little bit, so it's not the same.
So everyone gets an opportunity
and
to
it's
answer.
not the same
Yeah.
student answering 90% of the questions in a classroom and dictating where that lesson's going. So cold calling definitely helps. But yeah, overall, that's a funny challenge to have in the first week.
I mean, I just like to add some of the strategies. I mean, register ones in terms of seating your students in the register order. Also, I think what I always do is just make sure whenever someone's answering the question, I tell them to say their name first, just to remind myself what their name is. And
Just be polite, basically.
yeah,
trying to be
and
polite,
every time I see them, I keep saying their name, keep using their name, and then hopefully that way over time we tend to pick up their names really quick. And sometimes I think there's a trend not in a trend as such, but in terms of how we how we are sometimes saying some students who, let's just say, may not be on their best behavior as such, their names tend to stick in your head a lot more than the others. And it's just a natural human thing, I think. There are some that will leave a memory and a character that will always, their name will not be forgotten. So I think naming is one of the things that remembering the names is something that is a challenge for us teachers that we have to overcome, and through strategies that we have to help us to learn those over time.
I've got a question for you, actually,
Yeah,
the host of of Education Matters.
we both are. Yeah.
So what challenges do you experience as the new academic year comes along? So obviously I know you're at a different school, but different challenges to my school. But what challenges have you experienced
I think
this year?
in terms of the students, the factors disturbing the students or distracting the students has increased over time. You've got the old social media distractions, but within social media, unfortunately, there'll be like a new phrase or there'll be a new trend that will happen. And what you will find students do is take that trend back into school. And I apologize in advance if any of you. This is actually, I'm sure Mr. Hussain will be able to back it. There was a period of 2 weeks where students were going down the corridor and they were just making animal noises. They were literally.
What trend was that? I think I missed that trend.
No, you didn't, because I remember obviously we as teachers talking about it. Where literally they're just. I think it was the sheep noises. This is what I mean. Like,
I think that reminds me of a trend 15 years ago when we were at school.
no. I think if you talk to the older students, never. These sort of things is something. It happens once and it gets popular and gets views and people tend to do it and they don't realize what they're actually doing is, behaving in a way that is not, I would say, acceptable or in a professional way or what you would expect the students to behave. So just going down the corridor, screaming your head off for banter. No, it's not banter, and I think those things have picked up quite a bit. There are a lot of students where one of them will be sitting on one side of the room and the other on the other side, and there's some sort. I don't know whether it's a game or what it is. I don't know if the listeners can probably, if you can see me, whether with their finger they just like go like this, and the other one goes like, I don't know what they do. I haven't asked them, but usually what I do is I usually embarrass them. Okay, so that is never done again. But for some reason, I don't know whether
can you find out so we can play this next week on air.
Well, they're there just going like this to each other, and I'm there. Just remind me, you are in year 11, right? And it's like, oh my God. So I think those challenges, those factors are something new. And they're always happening as the year goes by. They will come up and, I don't remember anything like that. And I think also, I still remember when I was in school, we used to avoid the corridor as well if there was a head of maths or head of any.
I think you knew which areas to avoid.
Yeah.
So you don't get caught.
And it was out of respect. It was respect because we were really scared of what would happen, of the consequences. And I think nowadays, unfortunately, there's no bother. There's no bother at all. Some of the students, there's no barrier between, that respect barrier between the student and the teacher as much as it used to be. I'm not saying every school is like this, but what I would like to say is over time of the years I've been teaching, it is getting smaller. Students seem to, not respect the teachers as much as probably we did back in the days. And I think you mentioned obviously.
I think if I change the question up a little bit to make it more specific, have you got a tutor group this year?
Yeah.
You have. So you see them in the mornings.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, and then you're keeping up to date with their struggles around the week, or if the positives and negatives.
Yeah.
How do you think your tutor group is it mixed or?
It is mixed, yeah, vertical.
So, how do you think the students you've spoken to in the tutor time, where you get a bit more time to speak to them about non-subject related matters, how are they settling in this year?
I think
from their perspective,
with them being back, with all of the students after this COVID, they are starting to get back into the norm. They're starting to settle in a lot better than it was before. Where we don't know, no one knew what was happening in that way. So I think they're starting to enjoy the normality and that routine of settling back in, and that way may be very different between schools, and having to, think some of them, they just, as you go to secondary, you're going to have so many different subjects. There might be one subject they'll come to you and say, oh, I don't like that. I don't like, I don't want to pick on a subject, but let's just say I don't like geography, right? But they just had one lesson on it. And I think they don't understand the whole structure of what it is they're going to be taught throughout the year. So I think a lot of them are coming into it, enjoying it, but there's part of the students who just think, they just know it. They don't need to know it. And the social and the Google aspect seems to be educating them a lot more than it is. So I think it's just a case of, the social media that needs to be more moderated, I think, and managed in a way that, the students are back to the routine and appreciate education a lot more often and their choice in subjects. Right, we just got... We've got about around 7 minutes before the break. We just like to, put it out there. If any of the listeners want to get involved, do please give us a call. Our number is 01733 602 133. That's to give us a call, to speak to us, let us know about your first week back at school. At the moment, with me, Mehtab and Shamir, we're discussing our journey as a first week back as teachers in school, how we are finding it. If you like to text, is 07411 191062. Okay, do please comment on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. We like to hear.
I've got one question. Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
So for the listeners out there, obviously we see it from a teacher's point of view, but what is one thing you would like as school? So we might have missed it as a school, we might have missed it as teachers, but if there was one thing you could change or add to the way schools are doing things in the first week, what would you like to be introduced?
What's missing?
Or changed? Or anything that we've completely missed or not even thought about? So let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I think we are always learning, so it'll be nice to know what you guys think the schools can do in terms of improving it. I was saying to Shamir, you know, this week we'll take a moment and perhaps speak in apni zaban, just to put it out there for our listeners. And I think we just want to take this moment to you know, just speak in it's not even Urdu, it's Mirpuri, in the language that we speak at home, just to you know, show our appreciation. You know, I'm sure the students, your children, and obviously all the teachers just want to say thank you to all the mums and the dads who are putting the hard work, waking up in the morning, taking the kids to school and asking them the question they should, and getting their equipment ready the night before. So I think, Shamir, did you want to do it in our language? Or?
Yeah, I think I've been preparing for this the whole week, and I don't think.
No.
I think you're going to start losing listeners.
No.
You start losing viewers. On
Well,
Facebook.
let's try. I apologize.
I might be going viral tomorrow in school. You know the trend you were talking about. I might be the
I'll
trend.
be the new trend.
I might be the trend in the corridors, mate. So
No.
I'm going to stick to English.
You're gonna stick to it.
But I know you're really dying to.
No.
show your
I
Desi
just
side.
think no. It's just I know the hard work they put in. And Assalamu alaikum, jare asana radio sunne ho. Salam radio. हमारा नाम मिताब है और हमारे नाल शमीर बैठा. अस्सलाम वालेकुम. है जी बोल ही सकने अपनी ज़बान इतनी कौन ही बोलें पर कोशिश करने अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. असां सिर्फ 2-3 मिनटां से असें सोचा जे तुसां सारेयां ना शुक्र अदा करने. थैंक यू वेरी मच. असां टीचर हां ते असां मैं 100% श्योर हां असें स्टूडेंट न स्कूल न सारे शुक्रिया अदा करने हैं जेह्ड़े तुसां सवेरे उठने हो ते अपने कुड़ियों मुड़ियों की तैयार करने हो ते स्कूल टाइम पर भेजने हो ते राती कहने इन्हां बैग पूरा सेट करने हो ते तुसां इन्नी तालीम वास्ते सही तवज्जो देने हो ते जेह्ड़े अम्मी अब्बा सुनी रहे न जेह्ड़े इंग्लिश नहीं बोली सकने उन्होंने मैं शुक्र अदा करना. थैंक यू वेरी मच. और ज़रूर कोशिश करो इंशाल्लाह एह् ना सोचेआ जे तुसेंगी ज़बान नहीं अछनी ते तुसां कोई हेल्प ना करी सकने. तुसां ने कुड़ियां मुंडे सही गल बां सारा कुछ समझने ने बड़े सारा कुछ समझने जेह्ड़ी गल तुसां बने इन्हें पता लगना है. एह् हाली क्या है कि अजकल फैशन है जे कहने अंग्रेजी बोले ना हाली तो होर कोई ज़बान पर तुसां जेह्ड़ी गल इन्हें बस हो इंशाल्लाह एह् समझने. तुसां ज़रूर तवज्जो अपनी देआ तुसां सही कोशिश करने जारी रखो. ते जिसलै स्कूलों अच्छे ना कोई पुच्छा करो जे क्या जासी स्कूल क्या अज तुस उन्हें क्या है करो क्या अज सिक्खेआ ला मिगी भी दसो हां. उन्हें की पुच्छा करो तुस अज ध्याड़ा क्या सिक्खेआ है मिगी गल बाओ. ते होर इस तो इलावा इंशाल्लाह जरा तुस सोचने हो असां कोई डिफरेंट करी सकने जे असां ना जा चैनल असां इंशाल्लाह हर वेडनेसडे इत्थै असां 8 to 9 कदें तुस सोचने जे असां कोई बेहतरी करी सकने प्लीज़ असां की फ़ोन करो और उन्हां नाल डिस्कस करो ते असां इंशाल्लाह अपनी ज़बान उसी इंग्लिश जिस तरह असां ज़रूर तुसां हेल्प करसा इंशाल्लाह. तुसां व्यू असां सुनना चाहने जे तुसां क्या चाहने हो तुसां क्या एक्सपीरियंस है इंशाल्लाह है तो इंशाल्लाह ज़रूर फ़ोन करे ते जितने असां शो असां इंशाल्लाह ज़रूर शामिल होए. अंग्रेज़ी अपनी ज़बान जड़ी ज़बान बोले इंशाल्लाह we would like you to get involved.
I will look at. I was just about to go off on story mode there in our own language, but you took up all the time before the ad break.
No, what did you want to say, brother?
If I start now, they will have to stop the adverts.
We got a caller, but we got an ad starting as well, so I think we just let them in. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. My name's Hania and I started Jacko
Oh, mashallah, mashallah. Hania, thank you so much for giving us a call.
Welcome to the show.
And welcome to Education Matters. I was just going to say, I would like to obviously, what year have you started? Year 7?
Yes.
Excellent. How are you finding Jackan? Or we're not allowed to mention any school, but you told us that's absolutely fine. But how are you finding your school?
Good, alhamdulillah.
Excellent. And in terms of how many teachers' names do you know already?
Not that much, but I know some, like a few.
Excellent. That's very nice to hear. And have you decided what your favorite subject is yet, Matt?
Yeah.
What is that?
I think I heard maths there.
Is
Your
it
voice got a
maths?
bit deeper there, but I heard maths.
What's your favorite subject?
Art.
Art. Hania, thank you so much for listening. Do please call us again after the ad so we can discuss in more detail about your experience at your new school.
Okay.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Could you spare a few hours each month to provide support to people who are going through tough times? If so, Peterborough Samaritans are looking for volunteers who are empathetic and open-minded, and we'd love to hear from you. We run regular information sessions where you can find out more about what it means to volunteer for Samaritans. If you are at least 18 years of age and would like to know more, please email volunteer@peterboroughsamaritans.org.
Attention foodies! Discover a world of flavours at Pack Foods, the largest ethnic supermarket in Peterborough. Shop our vast selection of authentic ingredients from around the globe, including spices, marinated fish and meats, and exotic fruits at incredibly low prices. And the best part? We offer free parking. No more hunting for a spot. Come visit us today and explore the incredible range of flavours at Pack Foods, 232 Lincoln Road.
At Cake Inn, all our cakes and slices are freshly baked for that delicious taste. At Cake Inn, we bake 100% vegetarian and halal eggless fresh cream cakes. Delicious flavoured cakes for birthdays and weddings, ceremonies and all other occasions, with free customised messages, even balloons and candles too. Order for delivery or collection from Cake Inn, 489 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PE, and your cake could be ready within 2 hours. Find out more and order online at cakein.co.uk or call 01733 496 584. Satisfy your cravings at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant. Enjoy a tantalising variety of Chinese, Italian, Pakistani and comfort food favourites, from starters to desserts. Kids under 5 dine for free, so bring the whole family to our restaurant at 63 Sycamore Avenue. Open every day from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Call us on 01733 313131 or book online to reserve your table. Ibrahimi-restaurant.co.uk. Every bite is a delight at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant.
Fancy the true taste of Middle Eastern Kurdish food? Asia Restaurant gives you the unique fusion of flavours from Turkey, Iraq, Syria and Iran. Eat in at 5 Fitzwilliam Street, Peterborough, PE1 2RU. Or order through Just Eat, Uber Eats or order through our website, asiarestaurant.co.uk. Call us on 01733 562 530. Asia Restaurant, the true taste of the Middle East.
Discover peace of mind with Islamic wills from W&P Legal and Mariam Khan. Expertly tailored to respect Islamic principles and UK law, ensuring your legacy is honoured. We offer tax-efficient wills, probate, lasting power of attorney and more. Trust us for a culturally sensitive estate plan. Your legacy, our priority. Call W&P Legal now on 01778 252 301.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salam Radio. You are listening to Education Matters with Shamir and Mehtab at 106.2 FM. Right, so thank you very much to Hania for her call before the break. I do apologize. I
do hope she calls back if she's listening.
Yeah, do please give us a call back so we can, we got questions to ask you about your first week at your new secondary school, and hopefully your experience will help others in terms of finding confidence in their new school. So you're listening to Education Matters episode 2, first week of school. Get in touch by giving us a call on 01733 602 133. That's 01733 602 133. Or you can text us on 074 1119 1062. That is 074 1119 1062. Okay, do please comment on the live stream that we have on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. And I just want to say thank you to Mr. Ali there for your comments. Assalamu alaikum. Hope you're okay. And Mr. Yusuf, thank you very much. We are doing the best way that we can. Hopefully help our community as teachers. Let us know if there's anything else, any other questions or any topics that you'd like us to discuss in the next shows. Yeah, so we got episodes obviously every week happening from 8 till 9. And if there's anything else that you'd like us to discuss, please do let us know. So what we like to just move on to is our announcement section before we start discussing the journey of a student and hopefully the parents as well as a first week back. We just like to obviously make you guys aware. Hopefully we will have closer to the date a more focused episode on this, but there is an open evening happening Thursday 5th of October from 5 to 7. Iqra Academy would like to invite all of you in Peterborough to attend, to get a campus tour, learn about the enrollment process. You can also meet the staff, explore the Islamic environment, and ask any question that you may have. It is a Ofsted judged the school as the person development to be outstanding. This was last year in 2022. And that open evening will be at Iqra Academy, which is Enterprise in North Breton. Do please join the team there to discuss about the future of your child and see how they can help, not both academically, but you got the Islamic aspect of it as well. You can explore the Islamic environment that they have, ask any questions that you may have, and then they'll be able to answer all those for you. And hopefully we will have someone coming on to the show that will be telling us more about the school. Right, and also just want to say thank you from Masterminds Tuition Academy for all of those you that attended our open day on Saturday. Alhamdulillah,
amazing turnout.
It was amazing turnout, yes indeed. The weather, mashallah, the weather turned up as well, didn't it?
I was always wondering on that Saturday, where did the ice cream van guy come from? He just turned up at the event.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. The event itself was very successful. I think they knew. I think it was something that we mentioned to them in terms of the show that come down. We will have people turning up to the open day, and do please come down, see if there's any sale. But they managed to stay there. They stayed there for a couple of hours. I'm guessing they enjoyed the show as well, didn't they? The open day for the ice cream van. I think they spent a couple of hours and asking questions as well. One of them was asking regarding, they said they haven't seen anything like this happening in Peterborough. So was that
the ice cream van guy?
That was he was just asking some questions. Yeah,
I didn't meet him, but
yeah,
I did see him there.
Yeah, so no, thank you, to everyone coming down. supporting us in terms of our tuition, and inshallah helping us progress further in future. Hopefully, we inshallah Mastermind Tuition Academy will be hosting those each year. So do please support us as much as you can, attending those sessions throughout the year. Right. So our next.
We do obviously our courses do start on Saturday as well. So if you,
courses, we had the pre-assessment, but in terms, yes, they start on Saturday as well. So get in touch. Find us on all social media, and even if you wanted to come down, take a tour, we're more than welcome. We're more than happy for you guys to come down and see what we do. Right. So I think we have a caller on line
I
one.
think this is our 100th caller. I think he might have won a prize. He might have won a prize.
Assalamu alaikum. You're live on Salam Radio at Education Matters. Who are we speaking to?
Sami Yunus.
Sami Yunus. Assalamu alaikum. Sami, how are you?
Sami.
I'm good. How about you?
Alhamdulillah, we are very well. Thank you, mashallah. Very, very well-mannered, polite, mashallah.
He's got a voice for radio, this guy.
He has indeed. Sami, we just like to, can I ask what year you are in?
Year 8.
Year 8. Oh, mashallah. And are you in a school in Peterborough?
No, in Spalding.
In Spalding. Oh, okay. Mashallah, that's good. So you started year 8 there, or did you go there from year 7?
No, I started there in year 8.
Okay. So it's a brand new school for you?
Yeah.
It's good for us because we can now ask you
all of our questions.
Yeah, so they would apply to you.
How was, in terms of you starting a new school, your first day, bearing in mind you're no longer in year 7, now you are in year 8. What did you like on your first day about the school? 2 things that you liked being in a new school.
The students there were kind, and the teachers were clear explaining the stuff.
So they were very kind and clear in terms of...
Clear in explaining the expectations in the first week.
Explaining the work.
Explaining the work as well. Excellent, excellent. And I don't know if... I'm sure you remember your first day when it was at year 7. How was that? What 2 things would you describe your first day when you started in year 7?
I was nervous and scared.
Nervous and scared.
Happy.
Were you happy as well?
Yeah.
I think you were happy, scared, and nervous because obviously, is it because you're going to a school? I'm guessing it was because you're going to a school from perhaps 600 students to nearly 2,000?
Yeah.
Excellent. But once you gone into the school, within your first week, did your feeling change? Did you get used to the new school?
Yeah.
Excellent. And what would you like to give as a message to people out there in terms of
especially
if they are
our new year 7s?
New year 7s or anyone new that's going to a new school, starting a new school, maybe as a sixth former, or may even be starting as a year 7 in a new school. What would you like to say to them?
Don't be scared and respect your teachers.
Excellent. I think he's been listening to our show about respect. MashaAllah. That's very good. Very good. And I just want to say, thank you for getting in touch. You are the winner as the second caller of the day.
I think he's been watching my WhatsApp status.
As
those quotes.
No, mashallah. Thank you very much. Keep respecting your teachers, and we do hope you enjoy your 4 years till you get to your GCSE and inshallah into A levels. Thank you very much, Sami, for your call. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
You want to give a shout out to anybody? Uncles, maybe?
All I want to say is thank you.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you very much, Sami, and have a lovely evening. Thank you for your call. I think it'll be your bedtime now as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, mashallah, mashallah. Thank you very much for that. That was very interesting. Obviously, he's coming here as started in year 7 in one school. Then he said he's gone to a school just out of Peterborough. Started year 8 there and just sharing us his experience. If any of you are there, are having a similar experience in terms of you starting a new school, do please give us a call and share your experience and how you got on. Right, so in terms of students, Mr. Hussain, in terms of students,
Yes.
how are we? How are you experiencing them? In terms of their first week, what can we tell our listeners, our parents, to things to watch out for? With their being first week of school.
So the good news is a lot of them have come back fresh with positive attitude towards learning. I've honestly had zero incidents or issues in any of my classrooms or classes, but so really, really good on that front. In terms of any advice for parents, I know schools will start to, once the admin side gets sorted out, schools hopefully should have their homework systems and everything in place by next week. So make sure you keep on top of that so no one falls behind. It's really, really important you start something fresh and you're not jumping in halfway through, or you're not trying to fix it when it's a bit too late. So really, really important that the links are made and the gaps are closed in terms of any learning.
Excellent. So would you, in terms of them starting homework, nowadays in terms of homework, there is quite a lot of stuff that is available online. A lot of the schools set up homework online, and the systems online, they do, analyze the question that a student putting in, and those questions are then, the answer that students put in, they are being analyzed, and those are taken away, and then the questions that they get are all personalized based on their previous answers.
Yeah, their weaknesses and
their
strengths.
weaknesses and areas of improvement. So I would suggest, from day one, set a day, or even maybe 2 days, break it up half an hour
I
each.
think you take the onus away from the student for a second. I think even if as a parent you set a reminder for yourself to remind yourself to have that discussion or quick chat with the student before the homework was due.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we can be proactive rather than trying to be reactive when it's a bit too late, and then think people have moved on to other topics and areas.
100%. And we were talking about routines, and I think it's important to set a routine from now. But the most difficult part is, I think, is staying consistent. As a parent, please make sure, whatever routines you are setting now, you are consistent from now, even in December when it's going to get dark really early, and it's not going to be the nicest of weathers, whether it's homework, class, homework or recap, or, setting your bag ready for school. It is important, the excitement that your students have for the children's have right now, let's continue that on and use that excitement to drill in some routines, and hopefully
use it as energy. Yeah, 100%.
yeah, use that energy, set those routines, and stay consistent throughout the year.
It's a very good time to set standards.
Yeah.
Just like us as teachers, this is the best time for us.
Yeah.
We could start
Set the
raise bar
expectations,
so
yeah.
high, and then move or maneuver as and when.
Of course.
If there's no standards to begin with, you're already fighting losing battle.
Yeah, and I think there's always there are some students, you say to them, go do your homework, they'll go and do their homework. Yeah, I've done it all. Unfortunately, somewhere you have to sit next to them and make sure they do it. So what I would suggest is, try and try in a way to encourage your child to do their homework independently as much as they can, and so that way they have the responsibility and accountability of their own homework. So make sure they got a time and they get the homework done, and it is something that you don't have to keep an eye on it as much, but do obviously keep a routine up just to check up on it, but you'd have to sit physically next to them, making sure they are doing it, because that way they're relying on you to do that. If you're not there, they're not going to do their homework.
And also we got to understand homework let's talk about maths, for example. Homework is going to be based on topics that they've recently been taught. So it's not a separate sort of program where it's optional. It's compulsory. It helps you obviously retain the information your teacher's given you in that half term, for example.
Yeah.
Without the homework, you're taking away a big chunk of the assessment and the feedback stage of those topics. So it is a very crucial, not an optional sort of extra.
Of course, 100%. So yeah, as a first week, is completed, the standards are set. So just make sure we as a parents are also setting those expectations at home with our child. For the students, you got the expectation of the homework. What do you think in terms of, they have their planners given to them?
I think this year in our school, we've given planners to every single year group, including year 11s, where in the past, year 11s maybe have not been on it with the planners as much as a new year 7, for example, who's really excited. But this year, the focus is switched up a bit. So every lesson, they will need to have the planners out, and they can record everything that we are trying to make sure that they're doing in school, outside of school, and all the other stuff that's available to them as well, including clubs. There is a caller, so I'm going to pass it back to yourself.
Right. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for calling Salam Radio. You're listening to Mehtab and Shamir at Education Matters. Who are we speaking to?
Wa alaikum assalam. My name is Isa.
Isa, welcome to the show. Isa, what year are you in?
Year 12.
Year 12, mashallah. Just starting sixth form?
Yes.
Sixth form, the most important, or I would say the most difficult years of education. Isa, in a couple of words, obviously, how would you describe your first week as a year 12?
As sixth form, it's hard, but you have to get used to it now, because A levels, like your exams are next year and all that. And just have to work hard and all that. That's it.
And what would you say makes sixth form a lot more difficult? I would say then, apart from obviously the aspect of the knowledge, the things that you have to learn are obviously a lot more complicated and more complex. But what other elements make year 12 more difficult for you?
I will spend the work like too hard now, and then you're on a tight schedule and all that, and you have to get the work done, and there's really no messing about now. It's just like really
it's a lot more independent, Isa, isn't it? Year 12, as opposed to in Key Stage 3 and 4, you had teachers almost spoon feeding you at times. They're modeling everything you don't understand, or they're doing quite a lot of work on the board. But how would you compare teachers in Key Stage 3 and 4 trying to teach you topics as opposed to year 12?
Yeah, Key Stage 3 and 4, they just give you they help you. But in sixth form, they just give you the work and say you have to do it yourself.
So there's a lot more research involved for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think this is where the expectation of independent work is put on you, just to prepare you as well for university. And what courses are you doing, Isa?
History, criminology, and psychology.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. And any advice that you'd like to give anyone not sure of, what they're looking to do? Is there anything that you'd like to mention that help you make your decision?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to Masterminds for letting me get into the form. If I didn't have them for now, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be there. So Jazakallah khair for that. Really appreciate it.
You are welcome, most welcome.
I'd just like to make the listeners aware. This is thank you very much. This is
not a setup.
This is not a setup as such. But I think thank you very much, Isa.
Isa, just a quick one.
Go
on. So based on the A levels you chose, I'm just curious myself. What would be your dream job? So you said history, psychology, and criminology.
Yeah, something to do in the law, like something in law.
In the law industry.
Yes.
And I think it's very, very important. This is something that, I get all my students to write on the front of their books, what their dream job is, so they know what they're working towards. So Isa, knowing that he wants to go into law, would have chosen said subject that would support his understanding throughout A levels and obviously going towards university. Thank you very much, Isa, for giving us a call and sharing your experience with our listeners.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
And hopefully in the future we will try to invite students in, and we'll hopefully be able to talk in more detail of especially A levels and how we can support the next year's going into sixth form. Thank you very much, Isa.
Assalamu
alaikum. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Excellent. So that was a year 12 student. You know, I know they're mentioning the tuition, but I would like to just point out in terms of, you know, the hard work that they can put in. It doesn't have to be massive money. It could be at home. You know, there's so many resources available. Please do plan your revision out, and you get to enjoy, you know, getting into sixth form. It's not easy. It's not easy getting into sixth form in Peterborough.
But I think when you get in there, just like Issa, you can see from just his tone, he's so proud.
Yeah,
he's so relieved. He's obviously achieved something, and I'm sure his family and friends around him are proud of him.
Of course,
for obviously getting to this stage of his life, which is just the next hurdle.
Yeah, and I think having crossed that barrier and having achieved getting into sixth form itself gives you an indication and just tells you, you know what, I can do this. I can do anything. And having that kind of mindset growing up is something that could be very useful for you. And I think that can only be achieved, I think, with consistency,
hard work,
and that can start from year 7, from year 8. You know, wherever you are in terms of journey, just make sure you know what you want to do, and you have some sort of a plan that you are following. All right, so you listen to Salam Radio, Education Matters, and we're just discussing our first week back to school. And we've just been talking on the points about what we as teachers are experiencing as a first week back. And then we mentioned about our students, and thank you to our callers who got involved. We had Hania, Sami, and Isa from year 7, from year 8, from sixth form, and we had a good mix. Thank you so much for getting involved and sharing your experience.
I think parents have gone sleep early.
Parents have gone sleep earlier than the students.
So
yeah, no, I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy at all having to do the school runs. But as a parent, you know, the first week, you're probably getting used to the holiday now. This is a holiday for parents, is it?
Yeah, but
that's how most of them describe it, you know.
I would love for a parent to call us in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, do please give us a call. As a parent, if you can obviously share how was your first week with the students being back to school. So we just wanted to, obviously, we touched upon, you know, the expectations have been set. The homeworks are being set. Now it is important, you as a parent at home, to make sure the high expectations are set for your child. So they know exactly what is expected of them, and there's accountability and responsibility for them as well, in terms of making sure they know they have to get the homework completed. And then you are there as ensuring that is also done. If there is anyone, like we said, we've got a couple more minutes. If you'd like to get involved, do please get in touch, and hopefully we'd like to get you onto the radio just a couple of minutes before we finish. Is there, as a closing comments in terms of, we had a couple of things just to want to mention again about what's happening. But is there anything else that you'd like to add, sir?
No, it's just honestly, if you are unsure about anything, this whole network is created, or platform that we've got at the minute with the radio show. The whole idea of it is to create a support network for the community. So that's parents, students, other teachers even. So if you guys want to discuss anything, if you're not sure about anything, honestly, do get in touch, not just on the radio show.
Sorry, so we do have a caller. We've got two minutes, so let's just get him onto the line. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Education Matters.
Walaikum salam. I've just heard that you wanted a parent, so I thought I would give
someone woke up.
Someone's listening to us. I thought it was just my mum and wife, but yeah, alhamdulillah.
Did you get the students' permission to call in?
Kids don't let us sleep, so we're still awake.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Just really quickly, because we have got literally a minute and a half left. Yeah. Just would like to ask you, as MashaAllah, your first week back to school, you as a parent, how has your routine changed and how are you finding it? And don't worry, there's no right or wrong, just as your experience. I'm sure there's many parents out there feeling the same.
No, seriously. At the moment, it's really tiring now because you have to go back into the routine. The late nights have finished and the early wake-ups have started, and it's very tiring for both, actually, the children, because they have to get back into the routine. We have to get back into the routine, and we have to go back to work after dropping them off. So it's really, really tiring at the moment. But slowly, I think things will get better.
Inshallah.
Back into the routine, inshallah.
Do you like the routine of, them being at school and having to pick them up, then drop them off, and then get things done, hopefully during the day as well?
Yeah, it helps. Well, it depends what kind of job you also have as well. Because if you work with children, it's like starting over again. You're starting at home with the children, and you've got to start with children. So it's never ending with children, but it's all good fun and it's all rewarding, inshallah.
MashaAllah, mashallah.
Thank
Thank you
you so
very
much.
much for that. We just got 20 seconds. We just want to thank you very much, our first parent to call us. Thank you for your time, inshallah. Thank you very much.
You will get a certificate through the post.
Right. Thank you very much for listening to Education Matters. You've been listening to Mehtab and Shamir, and we hopefully will see you next week. And have a